really, we don't know where you're going, and not like we know your own, you know.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just keep
Okay, let me keep going.
in your hand.
This is the last
Better.
time.
Try to make sure I get this right. It's okay.
Okay.
It's part of growing.
This is my last speech, and I'm done with that class.
That's more motivation than
Yeah,
just
it should be more motivation.
And just take your time.
Yeah.
We got that.
Okay.
You got it.
Hi, my name is Sienna Hawkins. Today I'm going to be talking to you about food, specifically how food impacts our personal lives, our health, our community, and depending on where you can buy that food, kind of makes a statement about you in the community. And just for some numbers from Norbert Hodge's book, it's called Bringing the Food Economy Home. A statistic that I read was the number of farmers from 1946 who's gone down from 6.8 million to 1.9 million in the present day. That's more than half of the farmers that were farming from 1946 to now are gone. And the question is why? Why is this happening? Why is the number of independent farmers going down? And that's due to the fact that a lot of major corporations are taking over the whole farming network, and global agriculture is happening now. And as a part of global agriculture, a lot of the farmers are losing their jobs to major corporations, and these corporations are taking over a lot of the farming land that they used to have, and they're farming in massive scales, like fields of apple trees and fields of cattle and fields of all these produce and this livestock that a lot of independent farmers used to use. And so it's beneficial in some ways that big business has taken over, because there's a larger production of food. When you go to the supermarket, there's always meat in stock, there's always fruits and vegetables in stock. But there are some negative effects of that. And some negative effects of that would be that massive industrial farming has a negative effect on the environment. It can definitely have a negative effect on the environment. Believe it or not, most supermarket food travels approximately 1,500 miles from the farm to your table. That's from here to California and then heading back up to Oregon. That's a while. It's a long way to travel for food. And in this process, a lot of fossil fuels are used up through through fueling the trucks to get from point A to point B. And that's just in-state food. Well, not in-state, but in-country food. Think about them having to ship the bananas from down south and other fruits from other parts of the country to get to America. And to be able to get these foods to America, a lot of the times they have to chemically enhance them so they last longer, and they actually are able to come to America without rotting. And you have to think, what does that do to our health? What are the harmful effects of these produce and the genetic mutations that have been done to them that will affect our bodies in the long run? And in addition to that, pesticides there are a lot of pesticides on the farms, and these pesticides can leak into the water system actually, and which isn't a really good thing. And there's a possibility of contamination of our water supply. And I know now a lot of our water supply, there's a lot more chlorine in it now than it used to be 50 years ago. And so, in addition to that, there are a lot of health risks that are involved, because if you eat food and it's not treated properly by the corporations, and a lot of the times the cattle that you have and see, they're going through these factories where they're systematically turned into meat. I'm not going to explain that process because it's kind of gross. So during this process, sometimes the stuff isn't cleaned properly. Sometimes their bodies are mixed in with feces and whatnot, and you can get diseases like salmonella and E. coli from that. And a popular solution to that problem that's been coming up is local farming and buying local food. A lot of the times with local farming and local foods, they're usually more organic in origin, and they reduce the carbon footprint because they're a lot closer in range than actually having stuff shipped in from other countries and from other parts of the United States. And a lot of the times, locally grown foods are a lot more nutritious because they don't have they're not bred scientifically usually. It's just people, they get some seeds, they plant them in the ground, they harvest them throughout the year. And it's also a way to support your local farmers because in the farmers who work for mega farming corporations, a lot of the times they're in debt because they have to make sure that all their equipment's up to their security procedures. They have to pay for a certain type of seed, and they can't recycle that seed throughout the next year, so it's only that one time. And they have to get all of these loans and whatnot, and they're really dependent on the big corporations for their money, and sometimes they don't pay out the way they should. And so that would be the benefit of buying locally grown food as opposed to mega business farming food. And I can understand that some people may not think that buying locally grown foods or going to farmers markets would be a better idea because you may not have all the foods in season at all the time, because I know supermarkets, a lot of their food, they have a lot of different things in season at all times. But in a farmer's market, you'd actually have food that was grown in the specific season that it's in. You don't have bananas in the wintertime. It's not really natural. Bananas don't really grow in the wintertime. So at a farmer's market, if you got bananas, it would be during the right kind of season. And they would probably be a lot healthier because they weren't enhanced or anything like that. And so in the future, if you can really think about it, you'd be able to go to a farmer's market, you can go to a grocery store that sells foods that are made by local farmers, and you can actually, through that process, if you go to a farmer's market or something, you can get to know the people that are actually selling your food. So you can tell them, hey Rob, you want to plant more tomatoes? Because I really like those or something. As opposed to and you can also kind of figure out kind of what's going on at their farm, what they have in stock, as opposed to kind of just going to the store, it's just a brand. And I can't think of a brand right now, but any just regular brand that you see in the store, it's just, oh, this is just a brand here. I don't really know who these people are, what they do. And so thank you so much for coming. In the future, if you actually want to get out and do this, like actually get involved in farming, and not farming itself, but get involved in the whole local farming movement, you can go visit a farmer's market, you can go online and check out different produce that they sell at farmers markets in your areas. I actually have this book called Coming Home to Eat, and it's about this ecologist who actually went out of his way to he kind of made his own community garden in his backyard in an effort to try and think of foods that he could make on his own that he wouldn't have to buy from the store. And he found in the process of doing this, of creating his own garden, that he did a lot of, the author's name is Gary Paul, not pun, and a lot of the stuff that he did through balancing and weighing and checking all the food and the water supply, he found that the same amount of crops that he could yield in a month compared to the however many crops his equivalent would be compared to a mega company, he actually used less water and less resources than they would making the same amount of crops. So there's a lot of benefits to actually trying to eat local and buy local food. So thank you for coming.
Good job. Good job.
Good job. Good job.